Welcome to the full A to Z six-figure VSL beginner's guide. Today you're going to learn how you can create a self-running customer acquisition system that generates sales 24/7. And I will show you exactly the exact skills you need to set up a profitable VSL funnel right now for your very own high-ticket business or for your clients' businesses. I will show you why a VSL is one of the best ways to monetize your audience and how you can convert high interest into sales with the lowest effort, which essentially is a VSL. And by the end of this video, you will have every single skill you need to create a VSL funnel that has the capacity and the possibility to generate multiple six figures a month. And I know this sounds like a harsh claim, but this is exactly what we guys have done for our clients. Currently, we're running multiple VSL funnels around 5 different high ticket client offers, right? We've generated multiple six figures for them. Just from one campaign, we made around $167,000 in a single month. And we're currently running a VSL campaign for one of our clients who seems to be very happy with the results, let's say like this, where we currently see a cost per qualified call of around $14. It is in a special market, but still an average call makes us around 1.38K. So you can do the maths and see how scalable this entire operation is. And with this being said, guys, why does a VSL funnel matter? It is the heart of our funnel triangle, which is the system that we implement across all of our clients. And it's probably the most easy funnel, the lowest effort funnel to implement compared to other funnels like webinar funnel, for example. But it's insanely effective, okay? And once you've done it right, and once you know where the real conversion caveats are, you will be able to turn this into a cold killer, okay? And this is exactly what this video is going to be about. Before we dive in, I just want to make something very clear. In this video, I will show you information that is generally behind a paywall out there on YouTube. You can type in VSL funnel tutorials right now, and you probably won't find an in-depth video like this. And the reason is because guys want you to buy their programs normally, right? And it makes sense. But in this video, I will show you exactly the exact VSL funnel copy that we use, the static ads copy that we use, the video copy, our exact landing page, like literally everything. So make sure you grab yourself a coffee or whatever you prefer to drink, you lean back and get all this information, because this can make you some serious revenue for your business. Well, first of all, why do we even need a VSL funnel? Why can we not simply put a link in our ad or on a YouTube channel and send people to a checkout page? Hey, I want your credit card. Well, I want you to think a bit. Obviously, if we do it like this, we will deal with a very low conversion rate, okay? Because we simply can't communicate the offers value in a way we want, okay? And their only selling mechanism on a checkout page is going to be our copy. So any single ticket that we have that is priced over 2K needs to be sold on a human sales call. If not, your deal will have a very low conversion, okay? So a checkout page only works when the lead is already completely sold on the solution, on your product, and you as an authority, right? So we generally create sales pages to maximize offer conversion, okay? And our sales pages contain assets like a video sales letter, a hero section, client results, program section, program overview, where we can really sell them on the next step in our funnel, which is, in case of the VSL funnel, booking a call with our sales team, okay? Because we do not sell this checkout, as you can see over there. What we guys sell is the sales call, okay? Where a closer sits down with the lead and builds rapport with the client. Good closers have an average close rate of around 20 to 30%, because a 45 Zoom call can build rapport and trust that is simply impossible with a checkout page, okay? And I want you to understand that a VSL funnel is the only single thing, or a high ticket business, it's the only single thing where you can actually leverage a sales call, because no closer will close deals for whatever, $500, $600. So really make sure it aligns with your ticket price. And this VSL funnel generally works the best for high ticket offers. Okay. So as we said, the VSL funnel is essentially a call funnel where we selling the call, where then a closer has the highest probability to close this lead. And we have an entire sales page for this call. Okay, so we're guiding the lead step by step through their journey instead of just asking for the credit card after they click the link. Okay, and this is essentially the entire logic behind the VSL funnel, why you should implement this. It's basically selling, 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 selling. Now, what are the main steps of a VSL funnel? First of all, we have our traffic acquisition system. And guys, before you ask, where's the practice? I'm going to run you through all this in depth on how we set this up for our clients. But first, the theory. Well, basically, we have our traffic acquisition system, which could be meta ads, organic content, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever. And then we're sending leads to our VSL landing page, which is essentially a sales page with a headline, sub-headline, a VSL, something like an application form, right? Which is generally a type form, client interviews, student proof, and sales copy. All right. And then we're sending them to a scheduler. So a scheduler is basically something like Calendly, where these guys can book a call, or the GHL calendar, or whatever you're using. Okay. And then after they book the call, we're sending them to a confirmation page, which is again a sales page. But in this case, after we already sold the call, so what we're going to sell next is the show up. So we have our show up copy, our show up VSL, client interviews, proof, objection handling, breakout videos. I'm going to run you through all of them in depth right now, okay, step by step. And then we have our email sequence as well, which is basically also selling the call as a show up. And obviously, then we send these guys to book a call with our sales team. And after this happened, we generally do a sales call follow up, depending on if they closed or not. And I want you to understand the logic behind this different systems in our VSL funnel. So essentially, our traffic acquisition system has one single goal. What do you think? Sell the call, right? Or sell the landing page view, to be even more accurate. So what we're doing with our traffic acquisition system, we're selling the link click with our ad, with a YouTube video, with our Instagram, whatever. Then once they land our landing page, we're selling the call or the submit application, right? Then once they book the call, we're selling the show up to the call. And on the call, we're selling the actual offer, okay? That's the logic behind it. Now, the most common mistakes that most people make with a VSL, that's why I'm also saying this is a quite intermediate video as well, is they just cause a very unnecessary drop off. For example, if you don't use Calendly and Typeform, you can't embed it generally, okay? Because Typeform has a native Calendly embed. So what we do, we embed our Typeform on a web page, and then we embed the Calendly in our Typeform this way, and then we optimize the load rate of the entire landing page. And this way we don't cause a drop-off. Because if you don't do this, you would first send leads to fill up a Typeform from your landing page. And then from there on, you would send them again to a scheduler, which is like 2 additional drop-off steps that you don't have with a simple embed. Okay, and you can literally do this right now in 5 minutes. You don't need a growth operator for this. Now, another big thing here is people don't do pre-call sales outreach. So they basically don't have a sales team that is dialed in or knows what they're doing. And we know this because we've worked with a client where we've literally been in minors because the sales team simply didn't know what they were doing, right? And they don't send texts, they don't create WhatsApp groups, they don't write iMessages, and they don't pre-qualify the lead or don't outbound dial them. And as a call funnel is highly dependent on your sales team, on their effort as well. Okay. And then another thing that we see, and it's probably the most common one that most of you guys see out there, We have a VSL on the page, everything looks great. Then you click on the VSL, and it's like 3 minutes and written by AI. So you can literally hear in every single sentence that they just put one prompt into Claude and return it to you and got their client to record this, or the client did it himself. And this is nothing that will resonate with your ideal customer. And keep in mind that the VSL is probably the most important asset of this entire funnel. Okay. You don't even need all the other stuff when your VSL is completely dialed in. Right. Okay. So the first thing that we need to be aware of is the traffic acquisition system, right? This determines who comes into our funnel, what kind of quality they will be, and at what frequency they enter our funnel. So the better our traffic acquisition system, the more leads are we getting in. And this is basically the highest lever that you have in your entire funnel, because it really determines what kind of quality you have, how many leads you're getting in, and the general lead flow, right? So the first thing that you want to do is optimize your profile either on Instagram or on YouTube or wherever you're doing this, because it's just like free link clicks where you don't have to pay for with ads. And you will be wondering how many people are actually clicking on your profile, then looking at the stuff in there, and then click on the link. And if you have a link in there, it helps. So what we do is we have a value statement in our bio, something like I help ICP achieve dream outcome using unique selling position in time frame. For example, one of our clients over here, I help people get into remote sales. All right. And for me, you can obviously tailor this a bit, running growth and conversion systems. Right. Then what we guys want to do is we want to add the link to our VSL page in our bio, as you can see over here for one of our clients, right? And what we also want to do, what we didn't do for this link, by the way, because it's the warm link in general, and we currently tracking our warm link with another URL automation. But what you generally want to do is include URL parameters as well. So URL medium should be Instagram here, and then like your URL content is probably would be link in bio. Okay. So then another thing that you want to do is you want to add your client wins. As you can see for our client over here, yes, his very own client wins over there, wins, testimonials, wins, lifestyle. It just helps a lot because people want to get nurtured. They want to know a bit about you when they see you on Instagram or wherever. So just make, this is like, doesn't take so long and helps a lot with conversion rates. Okay. And then another thing that you want to do is you want to add CTAs to your YouTube videos. Okay. And first of all, obviously put the link to your VSL funnel in your bio. As you can see, I have my links in my bio as well. So, something, a CTA could be something like, if you want to learn more about how to build a sub vehicle, this would be essentially what you're selling, or a transformation that you're selling in depth. Click the link in the bio where I've prepared a free training for you. We generally frame the VSL as a free explainer video or free training, okay? Because people don't want to get hard sold to, and once they on our page, our VSL is doing the selling already, right? Now, another CTA could be if you're serious about implementing everything you've learned today with a consultant today who's actually in the trenches with you. I've opened a few more spots for my one-on-one implementation program. Click the first link in the bio to lock in your spots. And here's some more urgency. Prices will increase soon since we're seeing a lot of applications at the moment. Now, why do I say since we're seeing a lot of applications at the moment? Because humans need a why, they need a reason. And when you're giving them a reason, when you just say prices will increase soon, they're like, oh man, marketing. However, when you say, okay, we're getting a lot of applications at the moment, so we probably got to increase our prices. And then I could even say, to guarantee results for our clients, guarantees aren't always the best thing because they just seem a bit cheap, right? How can you guarantee my effect, my results if it's a done with you program? So what we always like to say, prices are going to increase soon since we're seeing a lot of applications and we want to guarantee the best results possible for our clients. Something like that, okay? Not a specific outcome. Or you could say, if you're ready to stop figuring this out on your own, want direct guidance to build your very own sub vehicle the right way, click the link below and see if you qualify, okay? Remember that this obviously creates a lot of exclusivity and scarcity. Remember, Offer Name is a hands-on program, so we've got limited capacity available. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to stitch one CTA generally. This is a bit wrong. CTA generally in here in the middle of this video, and another one at the end. So we generally have 2 CTAs per video, depending on the length, right? You don't want to hard sell too much, neither on YouTube. So some YouTube titles generally for warm acquisition, because you need to be aware that YouTube has an algorithm, right? And the kind of customers that you want to target with your YouTube videos should resonate with your titles and your content. So be aware that when you're making a video with something like, okay, how I've generated over $3.5 million on Amazon, or something like how you can make $10,000 on Amazon guaranteed, you will attract a lot of low quality leads into your funnel. Your video will probably get more views, but the leads that actually see your video are no high quality leads. Okay, so be aware. For example, some more in-market headlines, and we're going to talk about in-market and the funnel awareness levels in just a second, could be, the biggest lies about the thing that you're selling. Okay, I've tried every single business model, only one worked. How I went from point A to point B without pain point. What nobody tells you about AI agencies. Why my direct to source strategy has changed Amazon wholesale forever. How my client John went from overweight to losing 50 pounds in 30 days. Old vehicle is that. Do USP in 2026. SaaS is that. Do AI apps in 2026. Shout outs to one of my homies. All right. Okay. So this is generally a warm traffic acquisition system. It's pretty simple. It's just you doing your YouTube, you doing your Instagram, you doing your reels, your posts about topics that resonate with buyers. Okay. Don't attract a bunch of garbage leads in there, and be aware that views aren't everything. It's about the quality of the views. Okay. So then cold acquisition, and I won't go too much in depth, regarding ads, because I've got a couple of videos on this channel about ads. So you can deep dive into all the stuff on your very own. So essentially, we just want to target real quick what you want to do with ads. And as you can see over there, what we're currently doing, we're trading $40 with a call, with qualified leads, because we're qualifying them. So you can really do the math. Okay, let's say 80% show up. Let's say 70% show up. Go with conservative rates. Okay, and then of the 70%, around only 20% close. Just imagine on a 1.8K offer. Just imagine how much money we would make with this. All right. However, first of all, cold VSLs need to attract in-market leads, especially if you're in a market with a lot of competition. You want to make sure you don't shoot for the non-buyers, you don't shoot for the mass market, but you shoot for the in-market demographics. Okay, and we're going to talk about all this in a second. If it sounds like a foreign language for you, doesn't matter. I will show you the exact messaging that we currently use in our VSLs in just a second. So essentially, what you need to be aware of, that there are different levels of awareness, okay, that a lead could have about what you're selling right now and about your product. So let's say you're selling a Amazon business offer as one of our clients. So there could be leads who don't even know what Amazon is. There could be leads who know what Amazon wholesale is, aka your business model. There could be leads who want to build a side income on the side, and they want to do it on Amazon, but they don't know how to start. There could be leads who already seen your product, but who aren't sold on it yet. And there could be leads who are just one single step away from buying. These are essentially the different levels of awareness. And you want to target mainly solution-aware people. So people in our case who are already sold on e-commerce, on Amazon, even on Amazon wholesale probably, and who want to take it to the next level. Okay. So for example, for one of our sales coaching offers, that helps people close deals at 35%. And includes top offer placement. This is basically what we're offering right now for one of our clients. We'll launch soon. We want to attract active closers who are looking to upgrade their commissions. They want to maybe double it with a higher close rate, maximize their own time, their own input. We're targeting closers who are struggling with their low close rates. We're targeting people who are already sold on high ticket sales. They're seeing all these people online making money with high ticket sales. They want to get started too. Okay. And we're targeting people who are already actively investing in sales mentorships. Maybe they get burned. And we're targeting mainly setters who are looking to transition into closing. All right. So why do we do all that? Because we have the lowest friction in our in-market demographic. And when we go back to our levels of awareness, you can think about that sales friction increases the more we move to the right, decreases the more we move to the right. So here we have the highest sales friction. All right. Here we have a lower sales friction. Then it goes even lower, lower and lower, and so on. But obviously, there are all only a certain amount of people available. For example, product-aware people who will already know your very own exact product aren't that many, and that's why we're not selling to them, because it's not scalable with ads. Okay, yeah, this is essentially how we do this. In market leads are sold on a problem, the solution. It's way easier to sell them on your product than converting a completely unaware lead who doesn't even know that he wants to build a side income. Right. And when you're doing this, you will be competing with guys like Imangaji, Alex Hormozy, or whoever is out there, right? Okay. Now, once we know who to target, we want to obviously implement this in our ad copy, and I will show you. This is insane. I will show you the exact ads that we currently use for our client. A couple of them. I won't show you too many. As I said, there are a lot of ads mastery guides in there, but be aware, this is like the kind of people that we're getting into our VSL funnel with this, and traffic acquisition is so important, especially for cold traffic. So some ads could be, okay, you and I both know that sales is one of the biggest income industries right now, right? You're seeing people online talking about 11% commissions on 5-figure deals. And when you do the math, it's easy to understand why everyone wants to start closing, right? But what you probably don't know is that to become a top performing sales rep for an offer, you need to actively break away from the industry paradox. So we're throwing rocks at enemies in the market. Look, most sales trainers will tell you to follow a formula, use a pre or post call pitch, and simply copy and paste into your offer. But that's not how it works anymore, because this is what literally a lot of sales coaches out there do. They give you a script or whatever. Okay, people aren't dumb. They'll spot a sales script from 6 miles away. If you want to crush your industry KPIs and land a good offer, you need to learn how to perform off script and actually build rapport. At least that's how I did to close around 40% of my deals and work with names like Imangadi, which is facts, by the way, and how I've built a network to be able to place my coaching clients into over 600 plus opportunities. Like Matthew, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, if you want to make the same transition and you have the willingness to learn and the right work ethic, I've prepared a free training for you. Click below to watch it. Do you see how chill this ad is? There's nothing like make money online with online sales. No, it's very, very chill. And we're really targeting people who are already sold on this idea. Okay. So another one could be, okay, so you already invested in sales training, but has it gotten you anywhere? You've probably been told to use outdated scripts and pushy strategies that sound great in the course modules, but have never worked in practice. And as a result, you're hopping from offer to offer, which is a main pain point for a lot of salespeople, by the way. And you're barely hitting your KPI, bashing your head against the wall because you're at 50% close rate. I get it. Okay, I was $20,000 deep in investments to sales coaches that just didn't suit my style. Again, pain. Well, that was until I developed my scriptless selling framework, unique selling position. Within a few months' time, I scaled to 30% close rates, become the top performer at my offer, closed for names like Imangaji, authority. And look, this process is also working for my client, student proof. So if you want to invest in improving your close rates and learn how to invest, do you see how like small words can make a huge difference here? I won't teach you copywriting in this video, but simply saying something like invest in improving your close rate, not like improve your close rates, but invest already attracts a higher quality of leads. And then obviously we are implementing this in our static ads as well, which first of all have a very polished design to attract higher quality leads. We don't want to have a weird like screenshots of people doing $1 million with closing or whatever. No. Set an appointment for 5% of the deal. Apply your skills to remote closing and double your commissions. Very logical, right? 10% commissions. Investing in sales training but seeing no process. Learn scriptless selling and outperform your targets. You could even say like, and double your close rate. 30% close rates, internal mastery, top offers for salespeople. Okay, again, qualification over here, and no income claim, as you can see. Now, this is essentially our entire in-market copy, and once you've written the copy, it's time to set up the campaign. And guys, I've esconded this a bit in this video. I've hidden this in this video, but this is so crucial what you're going to learn right now. Okay, be aware of this. Nobody tells this online, and you can really waste thousands of money if you aren't aware of this one single thing. You should optimize for schedule, okay, with your campaign, which probably makes a lot of sense. Again, if you don't know how to do ads, a lot of videos on my channel about this. But you're basically optimizing for certain events, which could be a registration. So you're telling basically Meta who to target. I want to target people who register. I want to target people who schedule. And for this campaign, we're optimizing for schedule. So we're essentially targeting leads who want to book a call with us. Okay. And then we're telling Meta, send back the people who book a call with us so we can double down on that. Right. Do not ever choose a custom conversion event. Never ever create a custom conversion event where you say something like URL contains registered page. Never. Use standard events, and there's a simple reason for that. Standard events give you access to Meta's database and to the exact advertising behavior that millions of other leads have used across other advertisers' campaigns. Meaning, if a lead based on his data points is more likely to schedule a call with you guys, you will notice if you select a standard event and Meta will target this kind of leads. So if you select custom conversion, you're basically starting at more or less zero and don't have this information about their scheduling behavior. And this is crucial because Facebook collects over 56,000 data points per user. Okay. And generally, I want to just make you aware that a $200 cost per qualified call if you're selling a 5K offer is generally a quite fair cost. However, you will learn ways how to keep it even lower. And I won't break this down in our entire video because this is like an entire ads mastery. Maybe I'm going to make another video about this. Well, now we have our entire traffic acquisition system more or less set up. So we already know how to successfully sell the link click and the landing page view. And now it's time to get to the meat of this entire video, to the very own VSL landing page and our 6-figure video sales letter script. Okay. So first of all, we're going to send our leads to our landing page, right? Which is essentially our sales page. And I will show you the exact landing page that we're currently running for one of our clients who we already scaled to more than 60K this month. And we still have more than 10 days to go. So maybe we're going to crash this 100. Got another webinar campaign coming in a few days. So maybe we're going to crash this 100K. We're going to spend a lot on that soon. So I'm going to obviously keep you updated on that as well. So as you can see, we have a headline which says, learn how to build and scale a profitable Amazon wholesale business that runs in the background. Follow the system that has worked for me and 500 successful clients to run an 85% automated wholesale operation. Now you might be asking, why didn't you say, learn how anyone can make $10,000 on a month on Amazon using AI ultra sourcing in the next 30 days guaranteed? I've been reading about this in a lot of books on this, and I'm seeing a lot of pages of people claiming to do marketing. Yeah, but these people don't know that this kind of headline will never be compliant with a meta ad because you can't just promise $10,000 in the next 30 days guaranteed. They're probably just running it for a creator who has a lot of following, and that's why it works. And you're creating a bunch of churn with this because you're attracting leads who are literally promising effort without them doing effort because AI ultra sourcing will do all of the heavy lifting. This will attract a very, very, very bad kind of quality. And if you want to scale this with ads, you will condition your pixel on this kind of leads, and it will go for a bunch of brokies looking for the next Lambo online, right? So you want to make sure your headline doesn't contain any income claims and talks to a more in-market demographic, as you can see over there, right? And our subheadline talks to the safe emotion, a proven system, 500 successful clients. Okay. Now then what we have over there is we have our type form embedded. And another thing that we have steps to increase our overall retention as well, as you can see, right? Our type form is embedded in there, which helps significantly with drop-offs. I will run you through all this in just a second. And we have a contrast color to make it stand out on the entire page. Then we have client interviews, student proof, more student wins, And this is cut off, unfortunately, but we have a Meet Your Host section. We could include some more about the program in general. However, since we want most of the people to watch our video sales letter, because this is where all the copy is at, we don't do that for this video. Okay. Now, very, very, very important thing, and probably the most important thing of this entire video, how to write a six-figure video sales letter. I thought, because there's so many videos on VSLs out there, I won't go too much in depth how you can do this for your very own customer, but I will just show you the VSL that we're writing right now for one of our clients. Okay, just show. In market messaging, it should be written by hand, not by AI. Okay, and 10 to 20 minutes long. So as you can see, we start with something called a hook. And it's an in-market hook. I think we can all agree that selling on Amazon is one of the most scalable and future-proof income streams right now. This is an in-market hook, and you see how it calls out a client who's already sold on Amazon, and we want this because if someone who's not sold on Amazon clicks on this, you would say, no, I don't know about this. Make me aware of this, please. But as you can see, we target in-market leads. Just to put things into perspective, we're talking about $1 trillion industry that's growing at around 50% every year. This is how we confirming basically their thought in their mind. Some of you haven't started selling yet, but you have some capital to invest in inventory, qualification, and you're looking for a beginner-friendly system that sets the foundation from day one. This is ICP number one. Others of you are already selling, but you're missing a system for growth, data, or reliable suppliers. And then there are those of you who want to automate your daily repetitive tasks and build a business that runs in the background, so you can earn back the thing you started this first in the first place, freedom. So for those of you who want to take advantage of this massive opportunity, make sure to keep watching to find out how. Make sure to keep watching retention, how you can build how you can reliably build and scale a profitable Amazon business that sales that's up to 85% automated. And this is our value claim over there, as you can see. So qualification, opportunity. My name is XYZ. I'm a former construction worker, and I've built a multiple seven-figure Amazon business that largely runs without me. Okay, this is a main pain point which a lot of leads have. So this is a proof. I was earning decent money, but I quickly realized that I couldn't scale my income without trading more hours for it. Pain point, which a lot of leads have who are probably still working a 9 to 5 right now. And working more hours meant draining, or who have a lot of struggle with their very own Amazon business. And working more hours meant draining myself physically and having less time to spend with my daughters. So I started looking for a business that allowed me to generate extra spending income again, dream outcome, while only working 5 to 15 hours a week. Pain point. A lot of leads that we're targeting don't have the time to invest in a business where they need to invest more than 30 hours a week or more than 20 hours a week. So we're easing this point while still qualifying them through capital questions, for example. First, I began flipping products. The margins were good, but I was making decent profit. But retail arbitrage, and we're attracting a lot of people doing retail arbitrage. So this builds a lot of relatability and shows them that their model isn't the best one. Okay. It depended on my physical presence and quickly turned into a second full-time job. So I transitioned to the much more scalable wholesale model, which is exactly what has generated me over $3.5 in Amazon sales. Okay. Student proof. So instead of driving all over town to Walmart, I became the Walmart, and I started buying everyday products from the same suppliers Walmart uses at much cheaper wholesale price. This is education, guys. I'm literally explaining them right now how wholesale works, and this is already our unique mechanism, which is more like tied up with our story. So as you can see, we don't have this point separated. We're kind of interweaving them. But instead of building my own physical store, I became a competitor, and I started selling on the biggest online marketplace in the world. Again, opportunity, Amazon.com, $1 billion company that ships the product directly to my customer's front door. Do you see how sexy we make this sound for our client? And while everyone is talking about building their own e-commerce brand, private label, or inventing fancy products, very few people realize how big the opportunity is to simply fulfill the demand instead of creating. Again, throwing rocks at other business models in the exact same market. It's not throwing rocks at something like trading or whatever it might be out there, but essentially we're throwing rocks at other business models that these people who are already sold on Amazon might have been tried in the past or are currently informing themselves about. I fulfill demand Then he explains the entire business model. But what none of these guys tells you is that a business can still require 20 to 40 hours a week, if not more. And then we dig into the next unique sub mechanism. So we explained the unique mechanism, and now we're digging into the sub mechanism because we tell them, all right, it might still require 20 to 40 hours a week, right? And nobody tells you this because they don't want you to hear this. To hear this, yeah. But he's still stuck handling with repetitive tasks every single day. Things like emailing suppliers, analyzing product sheets, and not how to build a business that runs in the background. So we sell them the opportunity, but then we come with a big but, okay? But you will still be doing all this if you don't follow our system or if you don't work with us. So here's the key change I made that has allowed me to gain most of my time back and take 3-week vacations without worrying about a business. The exact methods that I'm now implementing in hundreds of my clients' businesses which have where were we at, guys? Which have generated over $10 million combined student proof, a well-oiled machine that combines AI software with pre-trained human staff to handle about 80% of the heavy lifting. And then we sell the unique sub mechanism, which is in his case basically a combination of human staff and AI software. Okay, I'll make it a bit faster here because the introduction is by far the most important part. But now essentially what we do is we sell the sub mechanism. We sell another sub mechanism, prep center stuff he offers, client proof, client proof, client proof, crossroad option. The way I see it, you now have two options. Option one, you go out there on your own, try to figure everything out on your own. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm an example of that, but you likely burn tens of thousands of dollars. Oh, we should have included just as I did, because he burned a lot of money on bad mentors as well. And if you hired untrained VAs, you spend hundreds of hours training them XYZ. Okay. And option two, you decide to work with me and join the Amazon syndicate. All right. Step-by-step implementation program. This is where we now will basically, all right, proof, unique sub mechanism, crossroad option, program introduction. Now, right now we have the program introduction at the value and proposition. Instead of guessing and making costly mistakes, you follow a proven system that has worked for me and hundreds of others. Over 3.5 million, direct access to me, access to XYZ, client proof. Today, okay. Click below and apply for a strategy call with me and my team, CTA. On this call, we analyze your situation, see how we can help you reach your goals, and we decide if there is a fit for working together. Make it sound like a strategy session. Remember, it's a hands-on implementation program. We only work with people who are truly committed, qualification, need to invest money to make more money, exclusivity. And since I want to guarantee the best results for every single person, we have limited number of spots available, scarcity, urgency. So don't wait too long. And the last CTA, apply and book your free strategy call today. I'd love to see you on that side. And this is essentially how you build a killer in-market VSL containing all the different things over here. But you just want to make sure it really is written to the kind of customer that you want to attract. Okay, this is the most important thing. Like if you don't know who you're talking to, you can't write excellent copy. Well, this is essentially why we're doing this kind of stuff here. Okay, now once we've written a VSL, and with this kind of VSL, we will sell them on the Typeform, which is essentially this thing over here, right? It's time for the Typeform. And the Typeform is, why do we even need a Typeform, you might be asking? It adds friction to the sales process, right? I could simply drop in the calendar link as well. And to be honest, for some clients, we might even do this. Now, in most cases, especially if you run this with warm traffic where you have a lot of lead flow, or cold traffic where you want to separate and really like attract high quality. For cold traffic, it's necessary because you want to attract high quality leads. You add sales friction intentionally because you don't want everyone to come through there. You don't want a bunch of turds come into your funnel and basically take your sales team spots and take your ad spend and then just needing to think about it, and they don't show up to the calls. They don't even know what you're talking about, right? And this is why we need sales friction, conditional logic, and also we want to capture the lead data. So what we do, we have some custom fields in our CRM where we then send this data from the type form or from a Calendly to, and then and also in a Slack channel or on a Discord. So every single lead that comes in basically gets tracked, and then we send all their information, where they at right now, what they need help with, their volume, their budget, their profession, plug it into our CRM, and when the setters dial them or when the closer talks to them, he already knows what he needs to focus on. Personalized sales, right? Another big advantage of Typeform is why we're using it and not Chartform or how this other stuff is called. That it integrates seamlessly with Calendly, and we can literally embed our Calendly, our scheduler, in our Typeform. All right. It helps you also condition your pixel. That's what I said. So be aware of this. I won't deep dive into this too much right now, but we essentially have our landing page with our pixel tracking code on there, right? And then we send data through our Typeform. We disqualify the unqualified leads, and we only send back the qualified lead data to Meta server, and then Meta server targets us again with qualified leads, and it's kind of like a killer cycle, right? Now let's run you through the best Typeform practices live real quick. And I thought, why not show you the exact Typeform that we currently use for one of our clients for this Amazon offer, and show the exact best practices. So first of all, this won't be an entire Typeform setup, but as you can see, it's branded over there. We have a start question, where you at in your journey, okay? Then we have the next question, what is your biggest goal right now? Okay, and this is also direct. We're basically making them commit them to their goal. They're like, okay, my goal is I want to earn extra spending income. What is the biggest thing you need help with? And then what a lot of people do is they ask for the name and for the contact data in the first place. And this, for our clients, we've seen that this significantly reduces our application rates. So first of all, we want to make them commit to this Typeform. And once a human is committed, he's prone to the commitment bias. He started with something and then he wants to finish it. So that's why when we say something like wonderful and what's your name, he will be much more likely to fill it out now. And we make basically a different portions of this. So first name, then last name, and then we ask for the email and the phone number, make it mandatory, obviously, because we don't want to like overflow them with a lot of friction. And when they see a page where they have phone number, email, first name, last name, they will be more likely to drop off. Okay, awesome. And how much capital do you have to invest on hand? This would be qualified, because we can still close them, unqualified. And then we have a partial submit point, and this is crucial because this partial submit point is before they book a call and after they put in their data, obviously. So we can already capture leads who are qualified, but who for any reason don't want to book a call right now. Okay, and then we can dial them because we have their phone numbers already. You see, and that's what we need to make our setters aware of, that they follow up. Speed to lead is crucial here, that they dial them, outbound dials, right? And try to book them in on a calendar and get their 5% commissions. So next question would be, are you open to booking a call? Will you be sure to book? And we could reduce it here. It's not necessarily needed. However, it creates a bit of commitment here as well. And then we're setting them to our calendar, which is embedded, as you can see over there, and autofilled, as you can see over there. Then a very, very important thing that you need to keep in mind for this Typeform, we didn't do it, keep it in mind. But what we essentially do, because we weren't seeing so much many leads, because we're targeting a lot of business owners. So what we essentially did, we normally have a pixeled landing page, and I will talk about all this in a second, a pixel confirmation page and a non-pixeled one. And we're only sending back leads who are qualified and who are very, very qualified, so who have more than 10K or more than 5K to invest, to our pixel page, because we only want the most qualified ones to hit our pixel. We're still capturing the others and they still can book a call, but they won't get reported back to Meta because we don't want to get leads who only have 1 to 3K to invest, even though they're still qualified, right? And obviously, like when a lead has less than 1K to invest, we're sending them to our FU page, more or less, right? Another thing is very important. We're pulling in the UTM data. This is important for pixel tracking in general. So we're pulling in everything from the Typeform, then forwarding it in our CRM through the Typeform as well. And this is essentially how we set it up. It is no rocket science. We don't do lead scoring right now for these clients because we have seen that financial qualification is the most accurate thing that we can do. And this type firm has really crushed it. And we have like optimized it in the past a couple of times. So without further talk, you should now see why a type firm is very, very needed, and what essentially the best type form practices are for you right now. So let us dive into Calendly, which is essentially the next step in the type form. So I'm really guiding you through everything here, as you can see, okay? Well, for Calendly, you want to maximize the available number of slots, and you only want to allow people to book in 3 days in advance. So could you use the GHL scheduler or other scheduler apps? Yeah, you could. Calendly, however, is the most native scheduling event that we've seen, and a lot of seven-figure agency owners like Jeremy Haynes, for example, multi-seven-figure agency owners are using this as well. So I would highly encourage you to follow their footsteps, right? I only allow them to book 3 days in advance. Why? Because we want to keep their commitment high, and when we allow someone to book in, let's say a call for in 2 or 3 weeks, you will cool down. We won't have enough time to nurture them, right? Or we won't have enough. We would have to nurture them like for 2 weeks, which absolutely makes no sense. So let them only book in 3 calls in days in advance, so they really stick to their commitment. 45-minute calls are generally the industry standard, and obviously we want to add some more friction to filter out unserious leads from hitting our pixel and our sales team's calendar. Okay, and literally I want to run you through the right type form setup right now. And this is like literally what so many operators get wrong. It's not that difficult. Okay. So let me run you through this right now. How you set up your type form correctly, your Calendly correctly. Let me pull this over here real quick. All right. So essentially, this is how you want to set up your event. You have your host, you have your duration, you have your location, availability dependent on them. Then you have a description for the call. You have your limits. We generally send a 50-minute buffer after the event, so they have 45 minutes, 50-minute buffer, and then they can book in a call every 60 minutes. We have our invitee questions, another confirm their budget to add friction. Can you confirm you will show up, strict no-show stuff, and so on. Right, we're collecting their phone number over there, and then we have a bunch of workflows, as you can see, a bunch of workflows. And then we redirecting them to a confirmed A page if they only book from this call. But essentially, we're routing them through a type form, and then from the type form, they get redirected. Okay. So this is basically how we set this up. I won't run you through everything in detail right now, but you can more or less do it right now with this. Okay. And it's not that difficult, but this is like the general Calendly best practices, and really doing a round robin event as well, if you have multiple closers, will be crucial. Okay. So that's essentially how we do all that wonderful, wonderful scheduling stuff. And guys, by now you should really have a lot of knowledge. And we're more or less done with our traffic acquisition system. And now it's time to dive into our second system, which is our show up system, and which is another crucial step. And this is probably what most people don't do, because they're like, alrighty, we booked in a call, so why should I do more effort? And especially a lot of sales people are doing the exact same thing. So make sure you're behind this if you're a sales manager. Now, the next goal here is to sell the show up. Okay. Now, once you've sold the call with our traffic acquisition system, we want to sell the show up. So we do something like the VSL confirmation page. And as I told you, we have 2 confirmation pages, a confirmed A page and a confirmed B page, which they basically get redirected to after they book in a call. And the one for the high quality leads is pixeled, which reports data back to Meta, and the other one isn't pixeled. Okay. And let me just run you real quick through the confirmation page best practices. So essentially what you want to have over there, just think about the confirmation page as a general sales page, but instead of selling the call, you're selling the show up. So you have a headline again, congratulations, you've taken the first step. Again, first step indicates there are more steps to building a wholesale business that runs in the background. Dream outcome. Important, follow the steps below. And then we do steps to increase the overall retention. We say something like step 1 out of 4, right? Then we have a thank you VSL. And in the thank you VSL, which is this one over here, what we basically do is we congratulate them on booking the call and give them instant gratification. Say something like, "You've done the right thing," okay, and they're like, "Oh," right? They're getting instant confirmation. Then we CTA them to add the event to the calendar. We CTA them to accept the calendar invite to confirm the call. We always say like confirm your call with this, right? And then CTA to watch out for our pre-call emails. So we already pre-frame them. And we also say something like, in the next minutes, you'll probably get a call from one of our, if our setters are dialed, then obviously from one of our team members. We make sure, so if an unknown number calls you, that's probably us, guys. And we were just going to talk about your call, with your situation, and give you the best plan possible to start with your where you're on Amazon business. We emphasize that there's a no-show policy, so they should really show up to this call. If not, they can never book in again, which creates urgency, right? And then we tell them to show up in a quiet environment, because we don't want to sit there with a bunch of turds, right? And then value as well. We give them some free value about the business model, 1 minute value, because this is another way for us to nurture them. And then we tell them to scroll down on the page, where they then essentially see our breakout videos, which are FAQ videos, and they are crucial. So you can literally, just by implementing these practices, double your sharp rates with this. And double sharp rates means doubled revenue for you if the other stuff stays the same. Okay. So what we do essentially is we answer first layer questions with our sharp videos, second layer questions about the business model. So this would then be the in-depth steps. We handle objections, we set expectations, and stuff could be basically, how much time does this take? Can I do this without experience? Why should you trust me? How do the first 60 days look like? Expectations. How much do I have to invest? Objection. Is it really enough? And then let's say demand on Amazon, for example. And then another one that we want to add is a urgency. Let me see if I can write with this thing. It's basically an urgency video. So where you say, why should I start right now and not wait? And we've seen this urgency video for other clients to significantly boost their sharp rates. Then we have client interviews, which serve as student proof, obviously, objection handling assets, and set expectations. And then we follow make sure you follow a decent interview structure as well. Make sure you always try to relate this client interviews to their very own prospect. Okay. And this is essentially how we structure a confirmation page. Again, make sure the copy in here is dialed in. You've got a lot of FAQ videos. You can really add up to 15 different FAQ videos. The more objections you handle, the better. You can also add a meet your host section. We have one, actually. I don't know why it doesn't show up. Or maybe not for this landing page, maybe for the other one, because this is the not qualified one. But yeah, essentially they're the exact same. The one is pixel, the other one isn't. And then once we've done this, we already told them, right, a setter will reach out and you will get some emails, okay? And in these emails, we're basically sending them 15 to 20 pre-call emails within 72 hours. And 6 text reminders. And this is not spam, guys. I know a lot of people might be asking, oh, I don't want to spam them. I don't want to be too salesy. It really depends on how you're writing your emails. If you say something like, hey, your call is coming up in 24 hours. Yeah, sure, you're spamming these guys, because they don't care about these reminders. 1 or 2 reminders are fine, but not more. So what we want to do, we really share value. We share value on the business model. We've pre-framed the call. We give them a bunch of sales assets, and we make them understand that a call is probably the best thing in their life and that they should never even miss this, with a kind of subtle selling method, because we're not saying this, something like show up for the call, this will be crucial. We're just giving them a lot of value, and we want to make them indirectly, subconsciously understand that this call will be crucial for them. So you need to meet them where they are right now. And after they booked in a call, after the initial contact, they need more information, okay? And this is the stage that you're in. And then when they understand your value, they will show up and then complete the deal, all right? So, this is essentially what I said. It's subtle selling. Make sure you provide value that builds trust, and then they offer the solution. You offer the solution, and they will purchase. Okay, this is subtle selling, how we call it. All right, indirect selling through value. So here are the exact emails that we currently use, and we basically have a lot of educational emails where we explain the vehicle. We have a lot of emails where we sell the unique selling position of them, their unique system. Then we have emails to sell the industry. We explain every single step. So a lot of value and education being shared in there. I see a lot of people focusing only on objection handling, which could be make sense, but we generally see much higher open rates when we're just sharing real value about this. Okay. Then client proof, expectations, objections, and we introduce the funder story. And very, very important thing. What we guys are essentially doing, we're including YouTube videos, client interview links, free PDFs or guides, images, or gamma boards, like this one that you can see over there, and we're going to talk about in a second, in our emails. So links to the sales assets, which will then further nurture them. So essentially, I just want to run you really quick through one of the emails that I've written. For example, this one here. Scripted selling is like dating, really. Just imagine how many people will click on this email. This is basically an email that we've written for one of our clients who's in the sales coaching space. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a guy work to a girl at a bar and open with a cheesy pickup line? You clearly memorized from the internet. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Are you a magician? Blah blah blah. Because whenever I look at you, everyone else disappears. You know what happens next? She rolls her eyes, gives a pot smile, and finds an excuse to walk away. Why? Because she's heard it before, probably 10 times. And the second those words come out of his mouth, she knows exactly what's happening. She knows the guy is running a script. Trust is gone. Now imagine he tries again with another line. Okay, that didn't work. Let me try this one. Even worse. Now he looks desperate and fake. Okay. And just remember how dating actually works. He walks up, makes eye contact, actually listens to what she's saying, responds to the moment, builds really rapport, has an authentic conversation. That's when things actually happen. Now think about your sales calls. How many prospects have heard the same discovery questions 100 times? So what's your biggest challenge right now on a scale of 1 to 10? How committed are you to solving this? What would it mean for you to fix this problem? They know the script. They've been on these calls before. And the second you sound like every other salesperson they've talked to, their guard goes out. Think about it like this. We live in 26 where AI is everywhere. People ask ChatGPT for advice instead of thinking of themselves. Everything feels robotic. And that's exactly why authentic human connection is more valuable than ever. When you show up on a call and you're actually present, actually listening, actually responding to what's in front of you instead of running a framework in your head, prospects feel it. And that's scriptless selling. In a world that becomes more automated by the day, the skill of real human connection is becoming rare. A risk skill pays well, by the way. That's what I teach. Think about your last sales calls. Did you sound like every other sales call, or did you sound like a real human? Okay, just this, you can clearly see that this email isn't written by AI. I sat down and I wrote this email like for 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, and this email will probably get so many people to show up because they're like, hell yeah, this guy is really providing me value and makes a lot of sense. He's using metaphors and analogies to explain stuff. And we've got a couple of more emails, but we're already 1 hour in this guide. So let's make sure we get to the end because there's still a lot of valuable stuff coming. And especially point 3 will be crucial because it will show you how you can increase your show up rates by your overall revenue, by 20 to 25%. All right, this is essentially our pre-call email sequence. Now, the third pillar of the show-up system is our sales team, and this one is so crucial. So, of all the things that I told you, if you don't have a confirmation page, don't have a pre-call email sequence, but the one thing that you need to have dialed in for sure is your sales team. Because direct human contact, as I've written in this email more or less as well, between prospect and sales team matters more than any automation. Your sales team must do the following, and if not, go to them, fire them, and get a new one. Okay, maybe from our sales coaching offer. So first of all, inbound dial. Once an application comes in through the partial submit point or whatever, or generally a call, we want to make sure the setter dials them. Speed to lead is crucial. Confirm they opted in, qualify them, and set the frame for the call. Okay, triage them essentially. Then the setter on the call creates a WhatsApp group between the prospect and the closer and presents the closer as an authority. So this is what the setter could say. Hey, John, I'm adding you here with Alex, our senior strategist, who will walk you through the next steps. He's helped over 200 clients implement this successfully. Why WhatsApp group? Because WhatsApp is a native messaging sender. Even though not everyone in the US, for example, uses WhatsApp, we're still doing this to basically directly establish rapport with the client and with the prospect, and the prospect already sees their closer on WhatsApp, their profile. It makes it just much more human, right, than just communicating via email, for example, or phone. Then iMessage as well. Buy your closers on iPhone. This is crucial. Or get yourself some blue or whatever. Increases the response rates. It's blue text. It seems human, and it can increase your response rates by up to 30%. Okay. Now, I think this makes a lot of sense, but you need to implement this stuff. And then, very, very important thing, probably most important thing, dial in your setters and especially your closers in this once the closer takes over the call setting process. Send them a personalized loom or a general loom where you walk them through the offer as the closer, or even a loom of the offer owner doing this. Then sell them a selfie video as a closer. So something like, hey, John, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Joe. I'll be having a call with you on January 26th. Just want to quickly make sure you have the date in mind and it's right like at 8 p.m. Let's say something like this. And if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be sending you a couple of helpful informations over soon as well. Again, if you've got anything in mind, just shoot me a message here. Very real, like selfie video. They see the closer. They hear he's not absolute turd. And then the closer will send a couple of YouTube videos, gamma birds, and client interviews that resonate with the client situation. So if the client is 25 years old and currently starting his finance career, you want to send them a testimonial of another client who was also in finance and has a quite similar age, okay? And gamma boards as well. And as you can see, I think I forgot to run you through the gamma board, because this is essentially what we send to our what our closers send and what we include in our pre-call email sequences as well. An entire gamma board, which is selling the opportunity first, includes YouTube videos, includes personal authority, includes the offer breakdown, includes what it makes difference, unique selling position. Oh hell yeah! Includes student proof, FAQ videos, right? And then expectations. So literally every single thing that you need to do to make sure they will show up to the call. Everything they need to know is in this gamma board, and we're trying to send it to them everywhere. Okay, on WhatsApp, from the closer, from the setter, maybe even through iMessage. Okay, now we've talked about the two most important steps of this funnel, I would say, okay, that are responsible for over 80% of your revenue. However, a crucial step that most offer owners don't have in mind, or most people doing a VSL funnel don't have in mind, is that a follow-up system matters. Okay, a follow-up system is essentially can be responsible for over 20 to 25% of your revenue if you do it correctly. So I just want to run you real quick through how we do this. Essentially, be aware why a lead doesn't no show. So this could be because of bad timing. It could be because he has other duties coming up. It could simply be because he doesn't care, or he didn't have the enough or the right information, right? Or he just simply wants to switch to a competitor, or even maybe the sales team was too late. So what we want to do, we want to gain them back. We want to follow up with them, because the lead isn't lost and he's still much warmer than a lot of cold leads who are completely unaware of a product. Okay, but they are already product aware. We just need to make them to regain them. So we do something like automated follow-ups. If a lead no-shows, okay, after one day, we add them to a 7-day free email course, which is where we say something like, hey, Joe, maybe it wasn't the right time to hop on a call, and that's totally fine. So I understand you need more information. So as a small gift, you're getting my 7-day objection handling course. This would be for a sales call, for example, free value. So value for free, and you can opt out at any single time. And then we're sending them a bunch of valuable emails under this topic of objection handling for a sales coach offer again. And we're including small CTAs at the end of every single email, handle their objection. And the last email, the 7th one, will be a pitch again, telling them, okay, now's your last opportunity. We could even think about including a discount there, okay, to just push them over the line and create some urgency. And very, very crucial thing here, the sales team needs to do the follow-ups. You need to have a pipeline in close or GHL, where you basically move over the leads for a long-term follow-up, for a second stage follow-up, for a third-term follow-up. And you really want to make sure the setter tries to book them in again with follow-up dials. The closer follows up on iMessage, follows up on WhatsApp, maybe sends over a follow-up loom to them. Okay, it could be 2 or 3 messages running through one or two objections, and maybe they had from one of the conversations earlier. And you could even send a pre-recorded voice note of the offer owner, or even a custom tailored voice note of the offer owner if it's a very fluent client. And yeah, that's essentially how you're going to book in a bunch of clients. Sure, you need to implement all the stuff. You can do more stuff there as well. You can also include automated email flows to everyone who fills out your type form, has more than 5K to invest, conditional logic simply. And then you add these guys to your book in a call flow after 1 hour if they didn't book a call. Okay. So if someone fills out your type form, has more than 5K to invest, they will get 3 emails from us, and doesn't book a call, they will get around 3 emails from us where we try to book them in again. Okay. With a lot of sales nurturing, maybe we send them the gamma board and so on. And that's exactly how we currently running multiple 6-figure operations for our clients, and how you can implement this too. I hope that by this point of this video, you see how much information I've shared here for completely free, and how you can go out there right now and implement this on your very own business. And if you are a high ticket owner, or if you are currently an agency owner and you're looking for pros like us, okay, coming in there and taking over this entire operation and implementing this with a lot of scaling back end customer success strategies as well in your very own business, feel free to reach out to me on my Instagram account, simon.asman, and DM me a message, or just simply book in a call on my very own website, growinginfo.com. And we see if there's a fit for working together. We see what you need, what we can do for you guys. And yeah, it was a pleasure to have you here. Take care.